Welcome to The Switch, podcasts that are wired to online and offline marketing.
Okay, welcome back to The Switch, wired for online and offline marketing. And I've got a really special show today, which is, a lot of it is based around audio.
Yes.
And that is to come. So that's going to be really, really fun. Unfortunately, for the quiz, the audio of the dinging bells we can't have. So, because I forgot them. So,
fun and games.
Sorry about that. But we actually have a special guest here from the travel industry. We have Bev from Travel and Cruise Fundamentals. You've known Bev for quite a while, Wayne.
Yes, we've met each other a long time ago, been long-time friends and clients of each other's businesses, which is really cool.
Brilliant.
Yes.
So you've actually booked a holiday?
Oh, yeah,
through
a couple.
Bev?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons I did that was because Bev's always had a hands-on personable approach and she's been the go-to. So, you know, the whole idea of sometimes booking online can kind of backfire. You can't get hold of anyone if there's an issue or there's a problem and
you haven't got UPay.
Nightmare. Yeah, that's right. Whereas it's Bev's got the bat phone, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
you make that magic call and go, Bev,
I didn't see the bat phone in the Batman that I saw. No, I was disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. I did tell you that was a dark movie.
Dark film. I couldn't see the bat phone.
Bev, welcome along. It's great to have you here
Welcome,
today.
Bev.
Apart from being an awesome person and someone with amazing ethics, and you've got an awesome family, but you've been running your business for 26 years, and I think that is a feat in itself, and you've pretty much done it on your own. So I know we've got some really cool photos coming up. Done a little bit of homework.
Sure.
This is your life.
Yes, that's right. But you know, and we all know, as we discussed a lot in the lead up to this particular episode, is that the travel industry for the since COVID hit and shut everything down, what was that, early 2020, around March, I think?
Yeah.
Yep. 19 March 2020.
There you go.
You want a precise date?
Yep.
Wow.
That was, and I know, you know, we see a lot of each other through networking events and whatever, and I know how hard that was, and everyone that knows you, what a devastating effect that had on your business. Can you tell us a little bit about that short journey from then to now? Because I know you've been through the ringer. And here you are sitting with us looking healthy, shining brightly.
Absolutely.
Laughing. I mean, you know, you've picked yourself up a few
TSOH.
times. Yeah, you've picked yourself up a few times. And I think that in itself is an inspirational story. So tell us a little bit about, you know, that beginning and how you, and I'm sure the moment you knew everything was going to be shut down, you just saw your whole business disappear in front of your eyes.
Yeah, it was I guess, to start off with, nobody thought that we would be looking down the barrel of 2 years. That
No.
was the first thing. I mean, we were thinking, maybe
No one believed it.
a couple of months and so
Yep.
on. But
Absolutely.
it was basically a shutdown. We had not quite such a serious thing, but obviously 11 September in 2001 also had an impact on our business. But this was far, far worse, and certainly nothing that I'd ever envisaged. So initially, there were rumours of things happening and people getting ill, and then the next, people were hearing things and saying, we're not sure we want to go, what should we do?
Yeah.
And then it became a mandated thing that you basically couldn't travel, and all of a sudden, as you say, that was my business. Wow.
That was literally the proverbial rug being
it
pulled
was.
straight out from
It
underneath you.
was. And so initially we had people coming in the doors, how are you going, blah, blah, blah. And it was very challenging because nobody knew how to handle any of this. The agents, the clients, the wholesalers, the airlines, cruise lines. So in the morning you would arrive and you'd have all these scenarios, and this company was going to handle it this way, and that company was going to handle it another way, and then so you'd let clients know, and then in the afternoon that had all changed, so you had to go back. So you were just revisiting the same thing over and over again. And I made the decision at that point that it was too stressful for us to be in the office, because, you know, you'd have people with the best will in the world coming in to, you know, sympathize and so on. Some who weren't even clients. But in the meantime, you had 5 phones going and you were sitting on hold for an hour or 2 hours to speak to somebody to deal with this problem. And then you had another phone going on the other side. And in the meantime, you had all these people coming in, and I just found it terribly overwhelming. So I made the decision at that point in time to move the business out of the office. And I had that set up for many years previously anyway, so that I'd always been able to service clients' requirements outside of office hours and so on. So doing that wasn't a major issue per se from a technological point of view, but from an emotional and well-being point of view, it was a very difficult
I remember
scenario.
we had coffee one morning and you were wrecked. And you said, Wayno, I don't know where to go from here. I'm just so totally exhausted. And it actually wasn't you selling or business. It was just the day-to-day grind of having to deal with the constant changes and the uncertainty. So between the suppliers, the cruise lines, the travel companies, and the clients who were in a point of, what's going on? Is this still safe to travel? What happens if it gets cancelled? And I remember that, and my heart went out for you, really did. Yeah. And you were right on the edge.
Yeah, it was a very difficult time mentally across that period of time. Well, for pretty much for 2 years. And let me say, there were days when the vigneron up the road and I were very, very friendly. And I'm sure I've kept his business going quite well during the time. But, you know, it's one of those things, and you just think to yourself, look, you're not the only person in this position.
Yeah.
There are many others, and some in a far worse position than I was. I know of colleagues who pretty much lost everything, their homes, all sorts of things for a variety of reasons. But the hard part was basically, other than clients who were directly affected and our wholesalers, is that the general populace had the understanding that, you know, we weren't doing the right thing, which wasn't the case. I mean, literally for 2 years I worked for no income and fighting for credits for clients or refunds or whatever the case may be. Our clients, by and large, were marvellous. I'd have clients ringing up to just say, how are you going?
Yeah.
You know, want to go for a coffee, whatever. But there were days when I just thought, I can't do this anymore. And then I think, no, I have to. I've got nearly $1 million worth of credits that are out there for clients. I need to manage those. I need to be there for when we can do things again. I had to deal with some personal things that happened along the way, which made, you know, the journey a little more difficult.
Of course, yeah.
But through it all, I had the support from friends, from family, colleagues, you know, other business owners has just been unbelievable. It's you know, it's kept me going. Yeah. And I'm getting better at not bursting into tears every time I talk about it. But it's been a very tough journey, and I'm glad that we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now.
That's awesome. And so moving forward at this point of time, how do you see the travel industry being reshaped? Because it's kind of going to be reshaped. It's going to be quite different.
Yes.
And you're going to have a whole new set of, I suppose, experiences that you're going to go through in order to get travel to work again and to get people's and buyers' confidence back again. How are you now preparing for that?
Well, I suppose one of the things the one thing that I do have going for me is that I've been around for 26 years in the industry.
Absolutely.
So I do have the experience. The second thing is that I'm I've made the decision to change a little bit the way I handle my business and my relationship with clients. I have endeavoured across the whole period of time to keep in touch with clients on a fairly regular basis, if not every week, certainly every couple of weeks, by sending out mail outs for product, knowing full well that, who's going to book it. We don't know when this is going to happen, but just putting thoughts into people's heads. These are the things that we need to look forward to. We need to be positive.
Yes.
We need to keep going. I'm still here.
Love it.
So that was the purpose behind it. I'd send personal messages every now and then. But across the period of time, I managed to negotiate out of a lease, which was a massive sort of Damocles hanging over my head across the time. So getting rid of that was one of the biggest reliefs, shall I say, of the time. The second thing is that I no longer have any staff. You can only go for so long when you've got bills to pay and so on. So I no longer have any staff. So I've made the decision that I will continue the business. I'm not ready to retire yet. There's still many years of kick left in me.
And thank God. We need people like you, Bev. We do.
And the third thing I decided was that, yes, things are changing. So for many years, we, as an agent of the provider, were paid or remunerated basically by airlines, cruise lines, so on. This has changed quite phenomenally in the last few months because airlines also, cruise lines, so on, all need to recoup lost revenue over the time. So as a result, they are no longer going to be reimbursing us on the level. So we are no longer an agent for the suppliers. So I am now a consultant. So you're going to consult with me and you're going to pay me for my knowledge and my expertise.
As it should be.
And I might earn a little bit from the suppliers, but I'm no longer an agent of the suppliers. I'm a consultant for my clients. And so that's been a big mindset change for me.
That's massive.
Very big, very big.
I did not realise that. That is massive.
Yeah. So that's been part of the journey over 2 years. There are some companies who are not going to do that, and that's absolutely their prerogative. But for my business, that's how I intend to go forward. I've sort of started with little baby steps, but it is something I have to look at. I want to earn an income. I want to earn a living.
And you have that right.
I want to be able to look after my clients. I firmly believe that I have my clients' hands from the time they first consult with me until they come back from their trip, and if anything needs to be done afterwards. But so, you can contact me 24/7. You can ask me for information, and if I don't have it, I'll research it. I update you, and there's things changing constantly. As you know, the border today, it's opening tomorrow, and then tomorrow, no, it's not opening, and so on and so forth. So there are massive changes all the time, and as the person who's handling travel arrangements, I'm beholden to make sure that you have got the last bit of information that you need, that you've got the updated information. So if you're flying tomorrow, I can come to you today and say, this is what is now, but just if anything changes, ring me.
Yep.
And I think for that, I deserve to earn an income.
Without a doubt. And that is peace of mind. I mean, if anyone's travelling now, more so than ever, and you're going overseas, and because the current state of the world, I think that's essential.
You got to go to the people who know.
It's all that experience you have. It's all that knowledge, and as you said, you feel ultimately responsible for your client from the moment they come to you to the moment they return back from their travel, but also then afterwards. And that's one of the reasons that I have so much respect for you, is because you care. And you can book something online, but when things change, who's going to be there for you? Who's going to be able to,
right.
You're not going to be able to call someone.
Yeah.
You just get handed around. So, that personal service is, to me, is massive. And, we've had to use that in the past when my family's used your business for travel. And I feel that peace of mind. I think, that's just an awesome thing.
Yeah.
It's an awesome business and service. So, kudos to you, Bev. You're a powerful businesswoman. You've survived. You've been through the ringer.
You've pivoted.
Absolutely. You've done a bit of weaving and shaking.
We're still in the
In the pivot stage.
It's still in the pivot
But
stage, yeah.
The bravery behind deciding to pivot, that's really
Yes.
a major milestone in any business person's book.
And we've talked about that, Steve and myself, when it
Absolutely.
comes to branding and businesses embracing technology or change in the marketplace. Some will embrace it, and then invariably the ones that succeed, and some will hold back or push back.
That's right.
You've embraced it, and you've almost it's like starting a new business again because the rules have changed that much.
Yeah.
And here you are, you're fronting up again, chest out. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm doing it. I love that.
That's that stubborn streak.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
But the difference between starting a business now compared to starting your business way back when is that a heap of people around you who are going to support you, who are going to help you, who are going to give you really, really good advice. And your network to make this happen is so much wider. And access to them is so much better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess I've also made the decision that, if people don't value what I bring to the table, then I don't really want them as clients.
Yep.
If they feel that they can do it online, well, kudos to them, go and do it. We've been seeing, for argument's sake, things about people sitting on hold to Qantas for 6.5 hours. You want to do that? Go for it. If I've handled your problems and I've handled your booking and there's an issue, I sort it out, and we have access to things that the general populace doesn't have. So,
Of course.
for those things you pay, and if you're not prepared to pay, then
Well, your
sit
net
on hold for
worth,
6
your
hours.
value. And none of us will work with people that don't value our services.
Well, if there's anything we've learnt from business is people buy people.
Exactly right.
And on websites or in person, you've got to earn that trust
Absolutely.
and credibility, and you've earned it in spades. So well done. to
Well
you.
done.
I have got a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Do you feel you're on the cusp of a real, I suppose, silver lining to the industry for your business in particular?
I guess to a degree, yes, I do, because, slow learner, it's taken me 26 years to realize that I need to do these things. I won't tell you what my husband keeps saying to me, but
Well, I know him, so I'm pretty sure I know what he's saying.
But look, the industry has changed phenomenally, even from before COVID, the BC and the AC. There had been massive changes. And yes, I've tried to embrace changes as they happen, perhaps not as fast as I could have. But this has been a real wake-up call to me. And the wake-up call was that, okay, what value do I have? What's my value in all of this equation?
Yeah.
And my value has to be, at the ripe old age that I am now, that I have to matter somewhere along the line. And, to my family I do, but in business, I guess I've not perhaps had the confidence that I should have had in my knowledge, in my expertise, and having handled what I've had to handle for 2 years, and not having earned anything, that was a major wake-up call to me. And so the question I asked myself was, okay, I can just deal with those people that I currently have as clients who currently hold credits, manage their credits, and then say, I'm done.
Yep.
Or I can take this as a lesson and say, am I ready to stop working, to stop being passionate about travel? And the answer is no. And, the questions have been asked of me by my family, do you think you should stop? And the answer is no, I don't want to. So the silver lining is I want to carry on doing it.
And people are wanting to travel now. That they do see the light at the end of the tunnel, like you say.
Yes.
And they are wanting to travel.
Yep.
And so if your audience base is in line to travel, then absolutely there is a silver lining.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? You said it earlier. This is a reinvention of me and who I am, and I believe that internally for you too. You said it yourself: confidence and actually backing myself. You have it all in spades, and now you're putting it out there, and you're consulting, and I see the gleam back in your eye. Absolutely, I think this is a wonderful
Exciting.
thing. It's
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, man, I really think that you're gonna kill it.
Self-introspection, though, every
a good
business
thing.
owner goes through it. I've had, obviously, my demons. I know
So have
you
I.
have.
Yep.
And it happens at different times. The trigger for you was, quote, COVID. I've had different triggers. Wayne's had different triggers. And it is it's an eye-opening experience when you feel you can't get out of something and you just you don't feel motivated to get out of something. But when you actually finally do, you look back and you think, wow, I actually did climb out of that hole.
Yeah.
And I can handle anything now.
Yep.
So
And
well,
I know your friends, your business connections, and I count myself one of those. We've always got our friends' backs in business. You know, I mean, there's a saying: you, there's no friends in business. Well, that's bullshit.
yeah.
Because you should not treat a business person or a business relationship any different to your best friend.
Yep.
And I know that we have that, and now you have another friend in Steve, and we've got your back. Let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be a wonderful journey.
It will be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Excellent.
About it all.
But instead of looking forward,
Let's look
back. So let's look at that dark cloud.
Yes.
Okay.
We are
yes.
looking to they say a shadow of my former self. Well, my former self is the shadow of me.
Yeah. Well, I do believe this photo, the photo up on the screen now, might have been the Morley Hotel.
Good old Morley Park Hotel, yes.
Love it.
Yes. So in my former life prior to travel, Charles and I worked in hospitality. And one of the places that we were at was the Morley Park Hotel, which was interesting to say the very least.
I'm sure.
We lived above the generator. I don't know if anybody
Yes,
remembers
I know the generator all too well. Before Steve's time, but I visited that venue on many occasions.
Yes.
Well, we used to have some very interesting entertainers there. I'm trying to think of some of the names now. My brain's gone dead. Noiseworks.
Yes.
The Divinals.
Divinals, I know them.
Divinals,
Some great Aussie bands and loud.
very loud.
The Oilers play there?
No, I don't remember the Oilers, but we had...
The Frames local band, did they ever play there?
Not
No, I don't
while
think
we
they
were
did.
there. I'm just trying to think of Linda, her song was called Take the L Out of Love, and it's Lover and It's Over.
Linda Ronstadt.
Ronstadt, yes.
Wow.
She was there. And, we used to have some very entertaining evenings because our balcony outside the lounge overlooked the area where everybody used to queue to go in. On one occasion, my children were saying to me, "What's that smell, Mom?" Oh, I think it's time we went inside before we all partying on the veranda.
That
smells. Steve was thinking another
I was
smell.
walking around Amsterdam, and my daughters were going, okay. And I went, and then we all tweaked onto it. My youngest daughter didn't, but me and my older daughter were going,
Yes.
let's follow that smell. Cool.
Another night we, again, I think on this particular night, Noiseworks was actually playing, and it was time for the kids to get bathed and go to bed, and I ran the bath, and honestly, the water was bouncing.
Oh, jeez. That is cool.
Oh yeah. It was well known for the sound levels the generator. Yeah,
That is rock
unbelievable.
and roll.
And when you had Australian bands visiting, they would have been pumping it. Yeah, it was a great place. A great place.
Alrighty, next one here.
I apologise for that smell too, Bev. By the way.
Oh, with you.
Oh no. I didn't say that.
Oh, my word. That does take us back a few years. As I said, a shadow of my current
Wow.
self.
I'm digging the snazzy outfits. I know that.
That was our first summer in Australia. That was 1981.
81.
With Wayne on Charles's shoulders. So back in the
Wow.
young days.
Yeah.
Wowza.
So, we'd arrived in June, and that would have been probably around December. I think that was taken. My sister was here, and we were going out for lunch down to what was the oyster beds.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. That looked like a typical Perth hot summer's day too, by the way.
Yeah.
That looks cool.
Wow.
So, oh my gosh.
Interview. This is another one of those famous days.
Yes, this was actually
9 News. That's pretty cool.
I can blame Dean Keating for this.
Oh,
photo.
okay. We've had Dean on
When
the
was
show.
it? When was this?
That was in 1980.
80?
1918, I think that was. 2018.
2018.
No, I'm old. I'm not that old.
Wowza!
2018.
Impressive.
Yes.
You're looking really well.
He asked if I'd be interested in being interviewed as an expert on travel. So, okay. And out came a team from Channel 9 to talk to me. It was a little bit about grey nomads and people travelling around WA. So this was a precursor, I should say, to COVID.
Yeah, and no one knew it at the time. No, exactly.
No.
Amazing.
So I was interviewed by Channel 9 News.
Well done.
Good stuff.
That's great.
So yeah.
This is talking about colour.
Look,
yeah.
that was the day we opened our travel agency. So 25th of March 1996, and the person on the left of the photograph was my business partner.
Yep.
And we always used to have a joke because the colours aren't probably that good, but yellow and blue were the colours of Harvey World Travel.
Oh, yeah.
And people used to say, why did we choose to go with Harvey World Travel? And I'd say it was West Coast Eagles colours. And Mari was a Dockers fan, so of course it didn't go down well. I mean, it really had nothing to do with it, but it was a good excuse.
If you don't mind me saying, you do look like air hostesses.
I was
pretty cool.
actually thinking the same thing. You dead set look like air hostesses.
Well, service is the middle name.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
yeah.
Brilliant.
So it was all very funny. Harvey World Travel. So, franchise. I was a franchisee for Harvey World Travel for 14 years.
Wow.
This was...
and that's when I met you. You were Harvey World in the early days. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
they had just done a whole lot of new branding, and we were one of the first shops in Western Australia to be fitted out in the new branding.
Wow.
And when was that? Yeah, so that photo was taken. We had just won franchise of the year in Western Australia at the Harvey World Travel Conference.
Brilliant.
And it's all clean and tidy there because the staff had all just gone, but we had been celebrating that win.
Wow.
That evening. So yeah.
Awesome.
Well done.
Harvey World Travel. Those were the days. And then 2000.
Is that you behind there?
I think it is actually.
Hey.
Yeah. I think.
That's
so
cool.
this was in 2010. Lots of things happened in the Harvey World Travel franchise that there were quite a few of us that weren't happy about. So we decided, Charles, who owns a business with me, and I decided that it was time for us to move on and do our own thing, be responsible for our own business. So in 2010, we left the franchise environment. Wayne was very instrumental in the change. He designed all our logos, our branding.
Did he have a say in the format of the shop? Because it looks cool. I love the colours down here and the photos.
Yeah, that was part of
it
the.
was all part
of
of the
brand.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
So good.
It was all part of the branding.
Look at the chairs. The chairs are even branded.
Yep.
They were. So
done.
it was all very colour coordinated. It was really exciting time.
Each colour was
to-
representation of the
the-
different specialist areas
Oh, really?
within travel that
Yeah.
Bit like burning fruit.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
back then I had 10 staff, and each staff member had a specialist area, and each specialist area was allocated a colour. So
Yeah.
we had 10 colours
Yeah.
from memory.
Good stuff. Well, look, Bev. I mean, I remember when you came to me and we were looking at the rebrand, and you were like umming and ahhing about the leaving of the franchise, which was Harvey World Travel. So this was a lot of fun for me, and we had there was a fair bit involved in this brief because there was a connection to the Funda Journeys program that you had, which was tailor-made South African tours, and like it was top of the wall stuff, like amazing experience. And also you were going through that time where you had a lot of staff, and then you slowly downgraded and changed the business in that regard. You've kind of not really looked back since then. You just went from strength to strength. I know you still had, within the travel industry, there's always changes and it's always in a flux. But you really built, I found, credibility, honesty and integrity around that business. And that's something that you should be commended for. I mean, the stage you're at now, does this model work? We've kind of discussed that it does and it doesn't. What's your thinking behind that moving forward?
Well, obviously, I no longer have 10 staff, which on one hand is quite a relief because it's obviously 10 staff
I'm sure.
is a responsibility. But it also means that there's only me. So I have to manage myself a little bit better. And after 2 years of not having to worry about that, I really do have to suddenly jump in and do that a little bit better. I think, our branding probably needs a little bit of a tweak. I love the colour bars, and although they're no longer relevant in terms of I don't have 10 different specialty areas, I do think that they're just part of the brand.
Yeah.
And I will make a little comment. People have often asked me why the M in fundamentals is a different colour. And Wayne and I know that that's because, as you said, when we rebranded from Harvey World Travel, we sort of thought, what do we want to call ourselves? And at the time, cruise was becoming, the buzzword in the industry. So we wanted to incorporate cruise in the words, in the name. The other thing was that obviously I wanted to include my Funda journeys, and when I did a bit of research to find what I could do around that, we sort of thought fun would be one, but that name had already been taken. So Fundamental came up, and I thought, well, that actually is not bad because, we're about the travel fundamentals. So that worked quite well. So the M was in fact orange to differentiate the Funda out of fundamentals.
Yeah.
However, somebody came up to me one day and said to me, "Oh, is the M orange because of Moffat?" And I thought, well, no, not
Whoa,
really.
that's
Not really,
Well.
but and then my children said to me, "That's to separate the mentals from the fundas."
Oh,
Love
Nice
it.
kids,
Fun
huh?
and
Nice
games,
kids.
fun and games. And obviously here, this was your 20th anniversary, which
Yeah.
was a huge achievement in itself.
Yeah, that
I remember
was
that night.
exciting. Yeah. We had a good party that night.
Yeah, it was a good night.
I tend to get a
Massive
little
headache the
emotional
next day.
about all those things. So yeah, I had a little speech prepared, and I'm normally pretty good at off the cuff stuff, but when it's things like that, I have to write it down. And of course, it's the little sob stories every now and then,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
that was a good night.
was.
It was fun.
I know I woke up with a cranking headache. So it was obviously very, very fun.
surprise, surprise.
The really sad thing was that I wasn't able to really celebrate 25 years because
Yeah.
25 years was in the midst of COVID, and so I'll have to go to 30.
Absolutely.
30,
Love
30.
it. That's it. Love it.
Well, that's great. Really fascinating to hear about your journey. Oops, after you, go on. Then.
I can just say this again. Good on you, Bev.
Thanks,
You've
Wayne.
Good on you.
through it. You've been through it. You've come out the other side. Sure, it's not over yet, and there's going to be lots of change, and there's going to be continued flux in this industry. but you are capable. You've proven that, and just keep on pushing yourself and keep on stretching, because you got it covered. And I'm proud to be called your friend.
Thank you.
And go through this journey with you. It's been awesome.
Yep.
So thank you for coming today.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Thanks for inviting me. It's quite an honour to be invited to come along and chat about my business and be a part of the gang.
You are now.
You are now. That's it.
A couple of things from my perspective. I did a little bit of digging around. Kenya, Tanzania. I've been there, and amazing places to go and visit. South America, a place I really, really, really want to go and visit, but I haven't been able to. And Bermuda in 2017,
Yes.
I thought, wow, that's a pretty eclectic set of destinations there.
My granddaughter's very relieved that I came back from the Bermuda Triangle.
That was a cruise as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Facebook, you only started doing any sort of Facebook marketing in 2020, which I found very, very interesting.
Yeah, and then it's kind of gone in a little bit of a hole in the last little while, to be
Understandable.
honest. But it took me a while to embrace social media as a means of promoting my business.
It's hard. It is hard.
I don't have the time or the expertise to put stuff together, but I'm working with people who do that. And some of our providers are now starting to give us the tools to do that. So
So they
Cool.
should.
so I have got now to put into my time frame for each week some social media marketing.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah,
But
it's got to get better.
absolutely. And it's all part of that journey. So thank you so much, Bev,
Thank you.
for everything that you've shared with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
you.